welcome back to Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig, and today it's a little solo episode. Been working on some stuff. It's been a busy couple of months moving into summertime, so I wanted to kind of have a little solo catch-up session. Lots to talk about here today. So yeah, it's just me riding solo. Sorry, everybody, you get to hear my voice this entire time. It definitely won't be as long as other episodes. Probably shouldn't be. Who knows? I can't talk a lot. We know that. But yeah, we got lots to talk about today. I've seen so many movies, some cool things going on with me, some upcoming things, and I have a couple questions that people sent in some questions for me to answer. So let's dive right in. First off, we got to talk about movies. That's what we got to jump right into because I love movies and there's a lot happening. We had Johan on to talk about what we're excited about for summer blockbusters, and summer blockbusters are in full swing now. Some recent ones that I wanted to talk to about that I've seen. First, we're going to start with streaming. I got to watch and this is available for everybody if you have Netflix. There's two on there, new movies. One, Maternal Instinct. It is a true crime doc. It is about a mentally unwell woman who lies to an extreme like you've never seen before and eventually commits murder. It is fucked up. It's tragic. It was one of those ones, I put it on. Afternoon, my sister Amy had texted me saying, "Have you watched it? You need to watch it." I was like, "Okay," and so I put it on, and I started playing a game on my phone, and instantly had to turn the game off and started watching it. I was hooked right away. I was talking with my buddy Brad about it. One of the things true crime docs have going for them now compared to 20, 30 years ago is truly just body cam footage. So much more cameras on site everywhere, so you can get so many different things other than those reenactments we grew up with, watching Dateline in 2020. So it is not an easy watch. It is fucked up, but it's very interesting, and you just gotta wonder what's going on with people. And also trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. A new movie that's also coming on the opposite end of the spectrum came out Friday on Netflix is Voicemails for Isabel. Zoe Deutsch and Nick Robinson star in this cliche rom-com. He gets a new work phone. That number happens to be belonging to her old sister's phone, who sadly passed away. Spoiler, I guess, but the trailer, the story, we know what it's about, so I'm not gonna. And he listens to them and starts to fall in love, perhaps. And they even say in the movie and the trailer, it's like a new version of You've Got Mail. And that's very similar to what it is. It's full of cliches, like I said, but it's quite enjoyable. Their chemistry is fantastic, our two leads. The supporting characters are more one-dimensional than previous rom-coms. Characters, that's for sure. But they're great. Their chemistry is fantastic together. They ooze charisma. They're a lot of fun to watch. And there's a lot of beautiful, sad moments. And what I love about this film is it is really about grief. It's not as much about falling in love. It is, but maybe that's just who I am as a person and what I've dealt with in life. But the grief is such a powerful point of this movie. And especially with it being grief of a sibling, something we maybe don't see as much. A lot of movies like this would be told from the perspective of leaving voicemails to an ex-partner. So I liked it this way, and it was, I quite enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something fun to watch, where you might pull on the heartstrings, that's available on Netflix now. Movie on Prime now, if you got that, is Over Your Dead Body. Samara Weaving and Jason Segel. I always get that one mixed up. They had it at Cuff this year. I didn't get a chance to see it. And so I decided, it's Prime, I'm going to watch it. About a couple who basically both had plans to kill their significant other. And shit hits the fan. And I really like the premise. And it started off really strong. And then the mid-act twist kind of took me out of it, and it was not as enjoyable. Even though there's such strong cast in it, Timothy Olyphant and Juliette Lewis are both in it as well, and they're so good. But yeah, I wanted to really like it more. I really like the premise. And I kind of like the ending and I like the beginning, but it's the middle was just not enough for me. So if streaming, that's what you got to check out. Now, in theaters, I've gotten to see some fun ones. Now, I previously mentioned Leviticus. If you haven't watched Leviticus, I mentioned on the last podcast. New queer horror film out. It is so good. Really love it. Another horror film that is making the rounds, hugely successful. Um, Rightfully so, and I love seeing it, is Obsession. I got to see Obsession. It's very stressful, but really fun. Phenomenal performances by our two main leads. It's a classic story of careful what you wish for. It's very Twilight Zone. Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, which is also something that the writer director rewatched and thinking of. So it's not necessarily a new story, but there's new elements to it that add to it. And I can't give enough praise to our two leads in it. They're both fantastic. Michael Johnson, who plays our lead guy who makes a wish, he does such a great job of you want to sympathize with him, but you are like, no, you're not the hero here. And so I think it's so good. And then our female lead, Indy Navarrete, what she managed to do with this role is game changer, and I expect big things from her. So this was director Barker crushing it. Well done on this film, which is making bank at the box office and changes some things. It's really horror games right now. I haven't gone to see Backrooms yet, but that also is making tons of money. Horror always is such a fun one to see, and I love that. And I love seeing new people come out, and it shows studios pay attention that you don't need to spend billions of dollars on a movie. I say that as someone who's seen some big budget films and absolutely loved them, but they don't always need to be that way. Keep that in mind. Speaking of big budget films, we have Toy Story 5 now in theaters. Of course, I went and saw that. I took my niece and nephew opening day. It was really fun to watch with them. I cried. I rewatched all the Toy Story films recently. I love Toy Story. Those films are fantastic. The first three, just phenomenal. Fourth one, rewatching it, it's not as enjoyable as the others by far. Did I get emotional? Spoiler alert, when Woody decides to stay with Bo Peep? 100%. Even rewatching it. So Toy Story 5. But Toy Story 5 is Jessie's story. She's the lead. Buzz and Woody are not the main characters. They're supporting. They've got their little journey. But it's very much Jessie's story. And there's elements to this that I was not fully expecting, that it wasn't just about toys versus tech. That's an aspect of the film. That's kind of the starting point. But what it comes down to is being a child, growing up, trying to make friends when you're shy and you're a little different. Loneliness of childhood. And it is beautiful and heartbreaking. There are several moments. Within 10 minutes, there's a moment that I lost it. I was like, what are we doing here? And it's if you were a lonely child, if you got picked on for being different, if you're a parent with children, full warning, good luck in the first 10 minutes of this film. That's what I was gonna say. But great job, Toy Story 5. I'm so glad they did it. And apparently there was a point where the script didn't have Woody in it because they didn't know if they could include Woody with the way he left. And so they might do that going forward with Toy Story films. There's no denying they're not going to make more Toy Story films. This is the biggest box office opening of 2026 thus far. And I believe one of Pixar's highest openings. It's the highest in Toy Story franchise out of 5 films. This is the highest one. So I think it's doing just right. And finally, another movie I need to mention that I got to go see, thank you, Elevation Pictures, The Death of Robin Hood. New Hugh Jackman film, a new take on Robin Hood. It is old man Robin Hood. looking back at what he's done in life, we're seeing a different version of him. It's you think you know the legends, maybe those are all just legends, and that comes through in the movie. And so there are two kind of films mashed up together here. It starts off very much more violent and graphic than I could have ever thought. Even more so from the guy who plays Wolverine. This is pretty intense. And then it becomes a much more calmer look back. And I will say, though, there is a lot of similarities to the movie Logan. There is a young girl that he kind of takes under his wing as well. Jodie Comer also stars in this. Both do a fantastic job. Bill Skarsgård plays Little John, and I did not recognize him whatsoever. I didn't know who it was. So, yeah, it was a really great take, interesting take on it. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I will say one of those ones at the beginning, I was like, I wish I was watching this at home with subtitles because it was a little hard to understand. But otherwise, a lot of fun, very beautiful, shot on location. It's real natural settings, which I really like when we do this with films. It's just adds to it to really be in these secluded older buildings, castles, middle of nowhere. Well done. So go check that out. That's also playing. All these things are currently playing in theaters, and as we've mentioned, lots of great stuff coming up. So keep track of that. It's been a busy couple months for me. Go from birthday, the Calgary Expo, but this month I wanted to shout out a couple things that had happened. Went with my friend Adria to go get a car from my dad. My dad is a car salesman at Mountain View Dodge in Olds. If you're looking for a vehicle, I got to give a shout out to Steve McFarland, my wonderful dad. He's so fantastic. So if you're looking for a vehicle in and around the Calgary area, Olds is not that far. Go check it out. Send him an email. Message me and I will hook you up. Tell him that you know me. Might help you. Might not help you whatsoever. But yeah, Mountain View Dodge, my dad. Good work, Steve. And Adria, thanks for supporting my dad and going and see him and getting a vehicle. I'm so glad it worked out that way. Another great important thing I want to mention is the Canadian Mental Health Association and Center for Suicide Prevention. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I was very lucky. They asked me if I would come down and do trivia for their work, and it was a blast. I was happy to do it. This was a volunteer thing. I'm starting to do this with these non-profits, these smaller crews that do so much for the world, for our city, for this country, for everything. I'm starting to offer the service up. So if you are an organization, smaller crew, you'd like to do stuff to honor them and celebrate them, reward them, but you really don't have it in your budget, please shoot me an email, passingtimewithcraig@gmail.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, PTWCraig, Passing Time with Craig. I want to help out more businesses, more organizations like this that are doing so much good and don't always get the reward or recognition that they should. And so thank you, Canadian Mental Health Association and Center for Suicide Prevention, for everything you do. Both very important to me. I've been vocal about my mental health struggles in the past, and I, a few years ago, did lose my friend Ryan to suicide. So any time that I can help bring awareness, I am more than happy to do that. So yeah, those are a couple big highlights lately. We got a lot of things coming up as well. I'm really looking forward to. I get to go to the Ponoka Stampede here soon. We got some fun events, including the Howdy Cutie Stampede Kickoff Party July 4th at Bourne Brewing Co. If you're in town, you're looking for something fun to do, come on down. I'm going to be hosting Midway Games. Fun little things, easy for the whole family. I'm going to be taking donations for the Canadian Mental Health Association and Center for Suicide Prevention. And we're also doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer July 9th at Cabin Brewing. So a couple fun things to do during Stampede if you're trying to avoid the grounds or looking for stuff to do on top of that. So go check that out. Of course, July and August will be continuing all my regular events at Ballscrew Bills, Highline Brewing, Cabin, and Bourne. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Check my website, passingtimewithcraig.com, for all those things. Before we get to some exciting news, I had a couple questions sent in to me, so I just wanted to answer those real quick. First of all, somebody asked me to tell me if you're single. I am very single. I don't know who asked me this. This was sent on one of the anonymous questions. I'm very single. We all know this. I make it pretty clear. Would you ever do a traveling podcast or just stick to Calgary? Is that going around traveling or just stick to Calgary? I would 100% love to go and do podcast recordings wherever. I do want to do some more live podcast recordings. That is in the future. And if that's going around to different places. But I do have some plans about some traveling, mostly in Alberta, and then starting to go out to other regions, some stuff for future productions. We'll see what happens with that. But I looking to expand always. That was from my friend Charisse. My brother Curtis asked me, said, "Can you tell everyone why your brother Kurt is your hero?" He is not my hero. Fuck that guy. Love you, but no, you ain't my hero. Don't even buy it. Nobody believes that. And my brother Topher asked if you could have a podcast roundtable with 4 people living or dead, who is it? And that is a great question. Oh, I have who would I have so I could hook up with type situation? What are we talking here? 4-way, 5-way, I guess. With 4 people though, I think Robin Williams 100%. It would just get out of control and it'd be so fantastic, and I'd love it. And I mean, he is my hero. I adore him. I'd say Steven Spielberg because of all the amazing movies he's made, and I would love to just talk to him about movies. And I know we'd have to do a 10-hour long podcast episode because I don't think we'd stop talking about movies, him and I think that'd be very cool. Catherine O'Hara. She's so wise, so funny, and just interviews I see with her, I think it's just so fantastic. And she's just a Canadian icon and somebody else I adore, and gone way too soon, and I miss her already. I wish I could have met her. Her and Robin, the fact that I'll never be able to meet them is just really heartbreaking. So Catherine O'Hara, Robin Williams, Steven Spielberg, and Michelle Obama. Yep, that's it. Okay, that's 100%. Michelle Obama, Steven Spielberg, Robin Williams, Catherine O'Hara. Sign me up. How great would that be? Right? I know. Fantastic. Well, everybody, thank you for joining me on this little podcast recap thing. Want to get on here because couple things coming up here. First of all, we're halfway through the year. Can you believe that? Halfway through 2026. I don't know what's happening. So, got some things planned for the rest of the year. Things are switching up a bit. Podcasts, Passing Time with Craig, still going to be happening, but we're going to go on a little summer hiatus here. I've got one more episode releasing on June 30th, Tuesday. We're doing it on the Tuesday because Canada Day is the 1st, so we're going to do it on the 30th. And I'm very excited because I got to watch the movie Bloodlines, and I've got an interview that I'm recording this week with writer-director Gail Maurice. I can't wait to chat with her and to talk about this movie. So we're going to be releasing that next week. So make sure to tune in for that. And then we're going to go on a little bit of a break, but we will be back in a couple weeks. So enjoy your time. It's Stampede time. I've got some plans coming up. I got some traveling. I got some weddings. But I do want to let people know if you're looking for stuff to do and you're finding less events out of the bar, and maybe you want to host an at-home one. I do at-home trivia. I do corporate trivia. So message me, Passing Time with Craig. Mention it all the time. You know what it is at passingtimewithcraig@gmail.com. Go to my website, all that fun stuff. Podcast will return. We will have regular scheduled episodes with guests from all walks of life, but I do want to give you a little tease about what's coming. I've already started to hint at it, but I'm working on a new podcast web series. I'm hoping to debut by the end of July here. Movie Daddies podcast. Full title still working on, but basically interviews with people related to movies, movie news, trailer breakdowns, fun facts, throwbacks, things. We're going to do that on top of the Passing Time with Craig. That's going to be in this feed as well. So wherever you get your podcast, it's going to go there, and it'll be clear that it's a Movie Daddy podcast episode versus the classic Passing Time with Craig ones. So yeah, a lot of fun things. I'm really excited about it. I love movies so much, so I'm so excited for this next stage of Passing Time with Craig brand. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you taking some time to listen to me today. Make sure to follow me on social media, as I mentioned 10,000 times. PTW Craig, Passing Time with Craig on Facebook, Instagram. Shoot me an email, passingtimewithcraig@gmail.com. Check out my website, passingtimewithcraig.com. I'm going to be adding some more articles on there. I'm going to start doing articles, aka blogs, and I'll include some videos on there as well. And then stay tuned. Not only will I be doing the podcast, but the Movie Daddy will be videos. So I'm excited about that, but it's a lot more work. So stay tuned for all these fun things. Otherwise, we'll chat soon. Bye.